Check. All right, boys, we're back. It's hot. It's hot in here. And not just the house. It is hot in the markets. The markets being gold, I guess. Gold, silver, everything's just ripping. Guys, today we're just James and myself. The guest today, once again, sick. So we're just delaying. We got the same guest here. I think Tyler's going to come on in a few weeks. I was really excited to see Tyler because he just got a Maven challenge. He's normally a futures trader, but he's switching over to Maven. I really wanted to see his experience switching from futures to Forex, CFDs. Yeah. James was just talking about a short. Let me pop this up on the screen here. Now, obviously, we're bulls on gold here, but the YM, dude. Break me down what's going on with the Y. Oh, that looks all right for the top side for the shorts, eh?
Yeah. So I'm just looking for it's coming off the highs. I missed the NASDAQ shorts. I only got a little piece on it. So maybe trying to play the indexes lower today with ES and NQ ripping down. And so just trying to get YM, which is sitting at a better level. But it is having a little bit of tough time. Yeah, I still do like the shorts. That's why I'm still sitting in them. But we'll see how they do react at this level. But as I mentioned, off the highs there. So yeah, I think it's got some space to pull back a little bit.
Yeah, that actually looks quite nice. Let me pop on the weekly too. Guys, we're just live trading today. So if you got any questions, we're going to quickly look at the markets, maybe look at some news, things like that, to hopefully give you a little bit of insight of what you should be doing over the next week or so. But right now, yeah, we've got that, kind of previous tests of these levels here. We have the new monthly candle, which printed. It doesn't really show us too much on the monthly. When things just go up, you don't have much to go off of, right? But exactly what James is saying, I think, hey, this level could be reversing right here. And oh, wow. Yeah, look at that big wick on, I might join you on a short here.
Okay, then it's definitely going down.
Yeah, just because this is a pretty, the only thing that I'm looking at here is, hey, I don't really like shorting when, or I don't really like, entering trades when it's already been tested there before, right? Prices already come here to these levels. So this is kind of like a second time. So it's more likely for it to rip through. But you can see that, hey, this 4 hour, we have that consolidation. It's just failed. So, I'd be looking at something along the lines of, putting a stop here and then just simply coming back and retesting kind of all of this area here, as I think it's FEG people like to talk about there. So maybe we'll throw a short and join you.
And see the NASDAQ's coming back down lower now as two bouncing off on try to rally. And stocks are definitely red. Like Nvidia's down 3%.
Yeah.
Amazon's down, Microsoft's down. I know you don't really look at that, but let's definitely does pay, and VIX is up. So it's kind of like
reason. Yeah, Nvidia's going down. I actually closed out. I like to look at, again, similar sort of things, confluence with other pairs. I know you're mentioning Nvidia, Amazon, things like this to do with, the YM, the NASDAQ, and it makes a lot of sense. And something I actually just did right before the stream was I looked at Nvidia and AMD, and I'm using those as correlations to each other because I think Nvidia might be a little bit.
Yeah, they do. They will move together.
Yeah, right. And if you're looking at that, you can see how switch back here. Nvidia down 3%, but if I go to AMD, it's not really down yet, right? So I had some longs here. I just closed out a couple, right? You can see that, hey, maybe AMD is going to come down as well and hit the bottom of those ranges again. You've kind of got those failures on that top once again. So close out a little bit of profit there. But yeah, anything else you wanted to say on the Dow, the YM here, of where you're going to be looking for a target?
Yeah, so targets on YM and now we are starting to reject again off the same level that we've kind of been respecting. So I really do like the shorts. My first target will be low of day, which is down at 423, 49, 423. And then we'll look to see how much further it wants to go. I mean, if this takes out those lows, I definitely think we have more juice back down, at least down to 49K personally.
Yeah.
But
now, what's your logic? I know, chat probably watching in here. they always hear, hey, things target the low or the high of the day or these swing pivot points. Do you have any logic as to why you think these levels like to be hit?
Yeah, well, I mean, if you get to low of day, you will tend to see, a little bit of a reaction there. It's
Yeah,
just something I've noticed. I don't really have a like a set reasoning for that, but you will see some orders being picked up. Maybe traders trying to buy the low of day, and you might see some bounce come in there. So that will always be when I'm trading towards a high day or low of day. I'll always look to cut some profits. But we are looking quite nice to continue. I see we're coming back down here
yeah.
now off that level. So I really like that 15-minute close underneath the previous highs with a wick as well. If you look at that 15-minute chart too. So
This is the 15 here. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Um,
So look how we failed to close back above that level. So
yeah. You're starting to use those failures now, hey? Similar.
exactly, yeah, exactly
Yeah,
how you look at them. I'm starting to kind of use the same
yeah,
kind of logic, if you want to call it that. Yeah,
yeah. It really does make things a little bit simpler when you look at something like that. Like, hey, I failed to make a new high. What do I
correct.
do
Yeah.
next, right?
It's also
Um,
quite objective. It's not like, oh, there's a support level. Well, your support level could be different to my support level.
yeah,
That's like we can clearly see now it tried to bounce on the 15-minute chart, but failed to move higher than that previous 15-minute bar. So
yeah. I
yeah,
think I think at a minimum here, you're probably looking at hitting those lows here. Now, what do I have drawn out? I can't remember what this dang level is that I draw all these boxes and I forget what they are. I think it might be this. I'm not sure what this level is, but at least down to here, probably. Sweep those lows, sort of thing, right?
yeah, exactly.
Looking at
So
the
that's what
Nasdaq.
yeah,
Let's look at the Nasdaq
that's
and just see what we can see here at the same sort of
Nasdaq.
thing.
Yeah, Nasdaq also, Nasdaq flashed a lot harder. So that's something that I will probably take away from today. Maybe I should have been shorting Nasdaq or ES because they're a lot weaker than the Dow. The Dow popped on the open, whereas the Nasdaq and ES just slid off.
Yeah, well, what's interesting about the Dow is I see it has these weird pops on opens, right? And I've been slowly switching over to the Dow, but you get these really impulsive moves on the open here. You can see here,
Yeah,
right? Big impulse move, here, big impulse move. And then things just tend to fly in one direction after that, right? Whether it's in the same direction or not, but they do have these really aggressive opens sometimes, right? You can see once again here, right? They have those crazy, crazy wicks. And that might be playing out today.
yeah, exactly. I mean that wick on the open on the Dow was literally, like literally 400 points, bro. I mean
Yeah.
that's pretty aggressive.
Yeah. Hey,
So the Dow is nice to trade, but I think you do have to just know that it can be a little bit more erratic than NQ and ES. I like trading it personally, the Dow alongside Nasdaq. Sometimes ES can be nice, but sometimes does move a little bit more. So it's nice to swing trade, I think.
yeah. So here's a good question, actually, I think is, somebody who might be a little bit newer, they're like Dow, NASDAQ,
Sure.
ES,
Yeah.
first of all, guys, if you're watching and you want to know what the heck all these things are, you got the Dow, that's the same as the YM. All right.
Yeah.
What we're looking at here is MYM. Okay. So anything that's an M first means the smaller version. So that's the micro instead of the mini. Okay. There's no regular, it's just minis and micros. Everything needs to be small, even though it requires a lot of money. Nothing small in this world. But they make it sound cute, so it's not as intimidating. So the micros and minis, right? So the M is the smaller version. So you got the NQ. The NQ is the NASDAQ, right? The YM is the Dow. I don't know why. And then the ES is the SMP, okay? And then you have the M's there, right? You also have the QQQ, which is a similar thing to the NASDAQ as well. So when we're talking about these, that maybe helps you there. So what is the difference, James? But we got the ES, we got the Dow, or the YM, and the NQ, right? So S&P,
So
Dow, and NASDAQ.
that's the good question. I think just to keep it pretty simple, I mean, I can go into more depth as well, but to keep it pretty simple, the S&P is like the top 500 companies in the American Stock Exchange. The Nasdaq is more the tech stocks in the stock market. So like your Nvidias, Apple, stuff like that. And then the Dow is more of your industrials. So that will be like United Health Group, stuff like that. Like actually the Dow, maybe last week, ended up tanking like over pre-market because United Health Group was down 18% pre-market. So you will see them move pretty, like they will move. ES and Nasdaq move more similarly, but the Dow will move more differently to the other two. But basically, it's just different stocks make up the different indexes, essentially, just to keep it simple.
Yeah, that's a really good way to put it. One more thing to note is the Dow is only 30 stocks. So when United Health was down, it is so incredibly significant for individual stocks. Whereas if you're looking at the ES 500 stocks, it's not going to make as big of a difference if Walmart's not doing super well that day.
Correct. Right? Yeah, exactly.
It's diversified so wide, so you have very smooth moves, right? With something like the ES. Now, I mind you, it might not look super smooth, but when you're comparing it to the Dow, you can see, holy, look at those crazy wicks. A lot of jitter, right? Now, this is a really fast way to make a lot of money when things jitter like that. So people tend to prefer certain ones.
And just to also show the guys too, I can get my screen up as well. But just to show the guys also, this is just for your interest's sake. Let me share my screen. Okay, let's go like that. Can you see my screen there, Hunter? Just want to show the guys.
Yeah, gotcha.
So what you can do on your trading view, I'm sure most people are using trading view to chart. You can come over to screeners and you can go to, let's go, where was it? Sorry, screeners, was it heat maps? Sorry, heat maps and stocks. So screeners, heat maps, and then stocks. And you can select that. And you can actually see what stocks, the bigger the box, the more weighting it plays in the index. So you can see Nvidia obviously is quite a big player in the S&P, but let's go to the Dow. So there's quite a different few Dows here. It's the Dow Jones Industrial Average Index. And you can see Nvidia plays a big part in it. That's why I'm shorting it as well. Nvidia is coming down. It's down 3.21% today. And then you can also see, as I said, like a lot of industrials, United Health Group, McDonald's, Disney, JP Morgan, Visa. So you can actually see what stocks make up the index that you are trading. Right?
Yeah. I actually didn't know about this. This is so cool that you you can find that there.
You can, like, even for the guys that want to trade other indexes, you can even come to like Germany and look at, I know some guys trade the DAX index for me. Right? And you can actually see what stocks make up the DAX index as well, right?
SAP is German.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah,
that's a bunch of companies that I've never heard of before. That's awesome.
Well, I'm sure you've heard of some of these companies like Mercedes-Benz and BMW that are in here, and Adidas.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I mean, I don't know them by the ticker, which is interesting enough because I mostly just do American.
No, sure. Yeah. You got BMW, Mercedes, Adidas. So there's quite a few of them actually that are on the German Stock Exchange.
It's interesting. It very much looks like the first time I ever looked at crypto, and there you have all these different symbols, and like they all meant a different crypto coin. And to me, right now, without knowing, the logos of these companies and without knowing the tickers, it just looks like a bunch of crypto coins to me, right? They got these crazy colors and different symbols. Like NGR looks like a crypto coin to me, right? I don't know.
I see the Dow is coming down. So I've actually had quite a few add-ins on this Dow as well. So I added in here at the highs and then got back out at the lows, and I added in again, hoping for some continuation here. So my average price is probably sitting at around like here. So we'll see how it goes.
Now let's talk. I've got a question here, and then I'm just going to paste to you. When gold and Bitcoin are both extreme, is survival or opportunity the real objective, and how do you execute on that? Now, just a fascinating question. Actually, I've seen that one pop up there. Right now, I'm going to pull up the screen again. Let's talk about gold and Bitcoin, right? We're just talking about stocks here. I know a lot of people are really worried about gold, really worried about Bitcoin. Now, mind you, managed to snag an absolutely beautiful long on gold, so I'm just letting that run.
Nice. Yeah, that's up 6% today. Jeez.
Yeah. And I think this is going to continue. First of all, let's just discuss what we think is going to happen and then how you should execute in uncertain times like this, right? Um,
Sure.
so first of all, we've seen pretty nice wicks on the bottom here. The actual move that brought this gold to the highs is basically just retested, and that's all that was in my mind. So after we've seen, hey, we're actually buying off that, I am super confident that this trend is going to continue. We haven't actually done anything wrong yet to tell us that this is not still going, right? Mind you, it might be near the top and it could be the top. We might fail to make some new highs, right? But as for right now, this looks beautiful still for me. So I'm just going to hold this until I'm told otherwise, basically. I don't know about you. Are you in gold?
I'm not in gold at the moment. I don't. I've got maybe some long-term holdings that are dollar cost average into and have been. It's just automatic every single month, so I don't even really look at it. But I don't day trade gold personally, and maybe I should. Maybe not day trade it, but maybe swing trade it. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
It is, it is one of the easiest things to swing trade right now, right?
Yeah, well, you
Because
just close your eyes and buy.
the beautiful thing about anything trending like this is it gaps up, right? So majority of the profits come from those overnight sessions. And one of the actual issues is I'm not going to talk too much on the prop firm pain points here, but a lot of prop firms are feeling the pressure of, the gold market being so easy to trade right now.
Sure.
There's firms that are creating different rules around gold. There's firms that are widening spreads or causing slippage. There's firms that are making it so that you can't swing trade these anymore, right?
Oh wow,
Um,
like
and,
the
and
spreads overnight and everything just get wild.
yeah, extra wide swaps, spreads. They don't
Mm,
allow overnight holds. And you guys watching, you can definitely do your own research on what's happening there. But these guys are under the pressure and they're not able to be sustainable because people are making so much money on gold. Now, Maven is not having those issues, of course, because we haven't actually changed anything, right? We have a
that's
model that's
brilliant.
completely sustainable under all
Yeah.
conditions, right? So I'm just advising you guys, choose your firm wisely, right?
Yeah.
So what's so easy about gold right now is most of the profits are overnight, right? So they just gap up, gap up, gap up, right? So when you're swing trading, you get advantage of all those gap ups. You don't have to deal with the intraday fluctuations. You just simply
Sure.
look at these higher time frames, daily, 4 hour, whatever, weekly, right? And you say, hey, that's a really good level. So I'm going to buy that, right? And then you get all that beautiful every single day. It's up 3, 4, 5%, right? And you get those gap ups rather than trying to scalp and stress yourself out. So it's a very, very easy market to be trading right now.
Yeah, I see that our wine's coming down quite nicely, bro, just to give you a
Yeah,
heads up in the background.
nice. $45 so far. Sweet. Anyone watching, hopefully W's in the chat if you're making money on that YM trade, if you're making money on that gold trade. I think we got pretty good advice for you guys here today. Now, switch over to Bitcoin real quick. I've been a Bitcoin bear for a long time.
Sure.
I've been planning for 71K. We're just about there. What do we think is going to happen at 71K? Well, most likely a bounce. Okay. I am looking that there's a good potential that we go even lower, sub 50, right? Because why? Because that's kind of what usually happens. Okay. That's only a 60% drop off the bottom. So potentially we could even go even lower. We could go to like 30K even, right? And a lot of you guys are not going to want to hear that. And I'm going to give you my opinion on this question that we asked a moment ago, and then I'm going to get your take on it as well. When gold and Bitcoin I'll read it again. When gold and Bitcoin are both extreme, is it survival or opportunity as the real objective? And how do we execute on that? Right. When things are uncertain, a lot of people like to say, hey, Bitcoin is the new era gold. It makes transferring wealth around the world super easy. It is a hold of value. It is non-inflationary, right? So non-inflationary means that they can't print it, so it will increase in value forever, like has to, unless there's a problem with it one day and people don't like it anymore and it's not being adopted anymore, right? And so people are saying, hey, it's a great store of value, so it's good when markets are risky. Wrong. I think that is wrong. Bitcoin is a very speculative asset, right? And until it's proven itself to be a safe asset, people with a lot of money are not going to be investing in it. The gold is proven to be a safe asset, right? So when things are risky and you're going into the survival mode, right? The best thing for you to do is go into gold, and that's why everyone's going into gold right now, right?
Yeah.
Because nobody knows what's going on. There's a weird AI bubble, right? Funny enough is there's actually a gold bubble right now because people think there is going to be an AI bubble, right? So funny enough is that AI bubble, it might actually be throttled for a while. Right, coming back up on the Dow.
Yeah, no, sorry, while you're there, I'll close some at the lows, bro. I don't like
did, eh?
it's a bit choppy, so I just close a little bit on the lows. I'm gonna try and leave a runner. We'll see what happens.
I'm
I added. Sorry to butt in there, Hunters. What I did a few times on this, as it moved higher to the highs on the 1 minute, like up to 49,600, I added in, so I got a much better price. So that add in, those two add-ins were like up like 100 points. I'm not gonna let that turn red on me, you know.
Yeah, totally. 1 second here. Go on, Pat. Yeah, he takes priority over everything, I think. So when he wants out, he gets out. Right.
But that's something I got from you as well. So I was small in my first original size, and I'm flexible to be able to add in, right?
Yeah. It's something I do less often, adding in and out, because there is an ego attachment to trading like that you have to be careful, right?
Yeah, for sure. Like adding in too much. I agree.
And I'm actually doing super well, just kind of taking like minimum trades, you know. Hey, I'll just take a little bit here, and then you're super non-attached, right? We'll just take a micro, let it go. I don't need to add to it. If it comes up and I don't like it, it's an interesting change of thought, actually, that I've been experiencing this year is, hey, if it's not doing what I want, I'm just getting out.
Yeah, right? I agree. You know, I think Hunter, I think from like we've been speaking about this as well, but like the more heavy you are in your trades, the more your emotional attachment to them is, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And when you start adding to it, you get more and more attached, right? And the longer you're in it, you get more and more attached, right? So funny enough, it's actually been helping my trading by just going, hey, that's not making money right now. I'm just going to leave. Right? If it's not making money, why am I wasting my time? Right?
Correct. Okay. Correct.
What should we focus most, discipline or edge? I think a very easy answer there. I don't think your edge really matters that much. And I think that might be a very conflicting thing, because you don't really need an edge when you're trend following, right? So the most important thing is actually you being in control of your actions and being disciplined and making sure you're sitting in with the money, right? And getting out when you're not making money, sort of thing, just as we were saying, right? To have an edge is pretty easy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, to make money is pretty easy. To have an edge is incredibly hard, right? Would you maybe agree with that? I'm not sure. That's maybe a hot take, actually.
I mean, you want me
to say it again?
Yeah, say it again, and then I can give my thoughts as well.
I think getting an edge over the market is incredibly difficult. It's going to take you very, very long time, but making money is very easy.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, there's also, I do agree with that. I think like a lot of people can't even, like, what is an edge? Like, you know, like, do you manage risk well, whatever it is? And it changes. Remember, markets change all the time. I think they all, you know, I focus less on trying to be right and prove right. I just try and make money trading. That's personally what I try to focus on. Just for that.
Yeah. See, what I'm saying is, hey, like the market gives tons of money, right? If you're sitting in on trends, right? If you're sitting in on gold, like look at gold here, man. If you got into this, let's say you got in, let's just do a scenario maybe, right? Let's say you trend hopped from Bitcoin, NASDAQ, gold, right? Just kind of picked whatever one, right? And maybe you're kind of late to the party sometimes, right? But if you're sitting on gold here, you're seeing gold's going up, gold's been hot, right? You know, maybe you got in mid last year, right? When things started booming, right? You'd be up, 60% sort of are around that already. And that's like multiple years worth of investing, right? And then maybe before that you were in Bitcoin because Bitcoin was hot, and maybe you got in late, but you still managed to get this move here, right? You made another 100%, right? So in the past year, you would have made 160%, which is 10 times what the market is giving you, right?
Sure.
So you don't really need that much of an edge in order to make money. You just need to kind of hop around, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think also an edge can be you doing the same thing every single day, So
Yeah, sure.
I think you just got to be consistent. I think too many people try and find like the holy grail trading system or whatever it is. It's just there isn't one, right? Personally.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is like you don't really need too much of a system. You just need to be in the market that's making money, right?
Correct.
How do you stay consistent without burning out? Interesting question.
Yeah, that's it. That is a tough question. I think also geez, and I can see I got sunburnt on the golf course today. Taking breaks, getting off lower time frames, not always looking at the 1 minute chart. I think that's probably a massive one. But taking breaks and making sure you're doing things outside of trading, not just staring at charts for 10 hours a day.
Yeah. Well, let me ask a question. Why would somebody burn out? Right.
Well, yeah. Why did you burn out? But I know for my burnouts, it's when I take losses and I'm over trading and it eats up my mental capital. That's why I burn out.
So that's the interesting thing I was trying to point at is, do you think it's possible to burn out while you're winning?
Yeah, I love winning. That's a good question.
You know what I mean? Like imagine you woke up every single day and you're going to the gym and you just crack a new PR every single day. You know what I mean?
Probably not, bro. Probably not.
You're probably just going to keep going, and you're just going to keep
going until you get injured. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that might be that's a different topic altogether. Is hey, how do we stop ourselves from getting so cocky that we're going to be able to go forever? But I think burnout comes from exhaustion of not seeing the results you want. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. 100%. Exhaustion and burnout come from not getting the results. I mean, if you wake up and you buy or sell and you make money every single day, you're probably going to keep going because you're on a heater. But I think it's the smart thing to do. For example, like if you are up on your account, take profits out the account, or if you don't just try and double it, and then the next day try and double it, or whatever it is. You have to be smart about when you're winning as well, because I think that's where also for me personally, that's where sometimes overconfidence comes, and we'll have to just be like, listen, James, you need to size down, or you need to bank some profits here and then go again. Like I'm taking a nice, I think it's about 4.6K payout today with the prop. So yeah.
Yeah. Imagine you were doing that every day. You would never get burnt out.
Oh no, bro. that was literally from like 4 days of trading, and then this is a smart thing. I made the money in 4 days of trading, and I stopped trading the account. I went to go trade my personal account, which I've spoken about on stream, and other accounts as well, because I'm being smart. I'm like, listen, I've traded 4 days, I've made $4.5 grand. Let me just chill, go trade other accounts,
Yeah. So then I guess the question is, okay, so we can only get burnt out when we're not getting the results we want or we're losing, right? So how do we, and I'm just putting this in a different perspective is, hey, we're putting so much effort in and we're not getting what we want, right? So maybe the thought is, how do you stop getting burnt out? Maybe don't put as much effort, right? If you're not getting the results you want, step back and put in less effort. And then that way you're going to be able to last longer.
Yeah. I mean, it's a fair point. I find when I don't, it's not that I don't care, but it's like when I don't worry about the outcome as much, I trade a lot better. I'm like shit, I need to be right on this trade or whatever it is, What's
any more questions here? Do we want to jump back to that question there? About survival. What would you do? Let's say this is a survival situation. right? Like by that I mean the economy's in the shitter. You know, the classical thing is happening. Crypto, Nasdaq, everything is plummeting and gold is going up. Okay. Where do we invest our money and time? What would you be your go-to?
Um, Geez, that's a good question. I mean, you're probably better off to maybe just sit on cash, personally, and wait for the next opportunity. I mean, you don't always need to be looking for the next big move in the
Yeah.
markets. If you look, if you, from an investing perspective, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's kind of the right move is I'd probably say half gold, half cash, right? And if everything is plummeting, you need to be prepared to buy that bottom because those are when you make an amount of money that actually matters, right?
Yeah,
Right now, everyone looking at the market, nothing you do in the market is going to make a difference for the rest of your life right now, right?
sure.
If you're buying gold at the top here, if you're buying the Nasdaq at the top here, or you're buying Bitcoin at 100K, you know, you might double, you might 5x, something like this. But the reality is that amount of money is not going to do anything massively crazy for you. What's really going to do it is when you're buying, you know, the 80% collapse on Bitcoin or you know, the 80% collapse on Nasdaq, and then you wait 5 years, and then, you know, that goes up, you know, 10, 20x from there, right?
Sure.
And then you got decent amount of money, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like off the April lows, it was last year where we crashed, and then I bought a lot of the indexes because we were like 20% of the all-time highs. So I was like, okay, it's a nice opportunity. I'm not going to do it with 3% of the all-time highs because my risk-reward ratio is not there from an investing perspective.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's a really interesting way to maybe play the market is just chill with a bunch of cash and wait for somebody else to panic. You know what I mean? Like if you looked at gold here, like last week, that was so obvious that people were panicking, right? And it didn't even really do anything, right?
Sure.
It went down 10%, right? 10% in a day or whatever, right? And guess what? Now you'd be up if you bought down here at that level. Because reality is you could have just bought this level. Let's say you just bought that level, you'd already be up 8.5%, right? In 2 days, not even 2 days yet.
That's wild, bro. Yeah. Day of trading, a night and a day of trading.
and then close it out. Like if you just literally wait for those moves because your RR is so amazing and your potential for profit is amazing, you know, like this might be a decent time to start exiting this gold trades, right? Because now we're coming back up to those levels. But I still maybe want to wait.
I'm full out of why I'm there at the lows, bro. 440. So I'm up.
You're out now, hey? Thank you for keeping track of it for me, because
I'm full out on that. I know you might look for a bigger move. I'm just gonna grab my piece there and then
little piece. That's perfectly fine with me too, right? Like I think we're gonna go for these lows.
Yeah, 400 the lows.
Well, I think we're a team and we're gonna do this together. We're gonna close it out. And
there you go. Take a win on stream. There you go.
You know, we take the win on stream. You know, that's the trade right there. I think we would have had a stop loss somewhere about there. So, you know, nothing crazy on the R side. You know, 0.75 R, but that's how I like to trade. Negative R trades, right?
There we go.
Yeah, incredibly good. And cool. Any more questions before we might wrap up here in a moment? Then see if we got any more.
Yeah, that was actually nice to see taking the trade on stream as well, I guess. So
yeah. I noticed that oftentimes as we come into the noon hour, things kind of fizzle out and they're not super exciting anymore. So basically, you know, you've got open till noon, and like that's the time to trade, you know.
Yeah, well, is it going to flush much lower? Probably could, but I'm going to just bank some profits there and see. I'll come back the next day. That's again about burnout. Do you want to be on the desk 5 hours in a day, or do you want to be in and out within the first 3 hours?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's the gist of my trading today. Is what I did is I woke up this morning, I looked at gold, and I was like, because I was already in this long, right? You can see my long here actually. We got the bottom, right? And I was in this long, and I looked at it, and I was like, yeah, it's going up. Sweet. That's it. That's all I did. And
Yeah,
then for here, you mentioned something about the Dow. Okay, sure. Yeah, there'll be a trade, right? And I think that nonchalant sort of attitude towards trading is what makes it so easy not to burn out.
yeah,
If something appears, shoot for it. Why not, right? And this looks fantastic
correct.
gold right now. Let's keep that ripping.
Yeah, jeez.
What part of your trading routine do you consider sacred, and what happens when you skip it? I don't know if there's anything sacred I do. I do a lot of
Ah,
meditation, but you know,
yeah, sacred. I don't know if there's anything sacred. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what he wants me to say. Is I got a statue of Jesus in front of my computer.
You touch it. You touch it before you place your trades.
Yeah, there's nothing. There's nothing that I do right before trading. Maybe I'll have a cup of tea or coffee or something like that. Make sure I'm
Sure.
alert. But like, make sure you're awake, dude. You know what I mean? Like this is all you need. Make sure you're awake. Make sure you're calm, right? Make sure. And what does calm mean? I think it means not excited, not looking forward to trade. And I know it sounds crazy, not looking forward to go trading, right? If you're hyped up and you want to make some money, you're excited, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Someone
I
asked
think
also, what was it? Um, what's the difference in your week? Like why are some weeks good and some weeks bad? Do you have an answer for that one?
I can give you one answer on that. Some weeks are good because I work out, and some weeks are bad because I don't work out. I personally, this is a weird. It might sound weird, but like if I don't work out, I feel like just bleak, bro. Like just it's like there's no. I'm not getting any like release. Like going to the gym, getting like like working out, getting the pump. You have to, bro. Personally, even if it's a run, walk, whatever it is.
Yeah. No, that's I love that answer, and I can really tell when like traders are like authentic, right? Because you get the answers like this where it has nothing to do with trading. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's a good week when I've won money. It's a bad week when I lost money. No.
Yeah. I hear a lot of these gurus, and they're like, when I stick to my rules, I'm journaling, right? They have this routine, and I don't think I don't think any of that stuff really matters. I think that's all the buzzwords that people hear early on. The answer you're really looking for is it's a good week when I'm healthy.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's like, what does health mean to you, right? Probably means the same thing to me, right? But
I
I,
think
I
too, Hunter, like if this is my own experience from trading now for 9 years, but the losses that you have the previous week, they're done. You've forgotten about them by the next week. So
yeah,
like you got to find time for what actually makes, what's more real in life. Like, working out, spending time with friends and family, stuff like that, bro. That type of stuff, personally.
yeah, yeah. I actually pretty much honestly dedicate like I treat the other side of my life like another full-time job, right?
Yeah.
Spending time with people, exercising, and doing my meditations and whatnot, right? Because
Yeah.
that is what life actually is, I think, right? Work is great, trading is great, it's a lot of fun, it's good to progress, but it's not actually what you're living for, right? Trading is a means to
It's a
my
byproduct.
yeah, my opinion, right? It's a
Yeah.
means to making that other side of your life better, right? So that you can have more time with your friends, right? You know, what the wealth is great for some people. I'm not particularly attached to it too much, right?
Well, how much is enough? Like you start doing well, and then you're like,
Yeah,
I want to make your first 10 grand a month. I want to make 20 grand. And then you do that, and you're like, 50 now. It's
yeah.
always going to be more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bro. It's a slippery slope when you start
Oh, yeah.
chasing the money dragon.
When you put your worth to money, that's why I think a lot of traders actually struggle. Personally, I know we're going on a
Yeah,
bit here, but I think this is a good conversation. I think a lot of traders, because they put their worth to money, it makes them trade badly. Because if they have a losing trade, they're like, oh, well, I'm shit or whatever. I can't trade. And then
yeah,
it's like a spiral, and then they're like, it's like they put their whole identity and their ability to trade, where it's not really great because you're going to be on a roller coaster. You're going to be up one day, down the next.
Yeah. Yeah, especially when you're surrounding yourself with other traders, right? Other traders, like when you're going to validate yourself based off your trading ability if all you hang out with is trading and talk trading all the time, right?
Yeah,
You do need a little bit of diversification, right? That's a good point.
agreed. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember if there's something else I wanted to talk about, but I think we might wrap it up there, guys. We do this every single week. Hopefully y'all caught that YM short. It is going a little bit lower, but exactly the same sort of thing, right? Just go for the sweep there. Okay, guys, follow us every single week. Next week, I think we're gonna have Louise on. She's our psychologist, award-winning level psychologist, so she's gonna help us with our discipline. And we'll see you guys next week. Thanks, James.
Yes, sir. Cheers, guys.